This is something else I was thinking about. Honestly, definitely kind of my roots. With my cousin missing, but she's really not missing. She on the eternal side. But since I got reunited back with my family, each time I talk to them, the most recent time I talked to my brother, which I haven't talked to my brothers in a very long time. I'm supposed to be going to see them. Hopefully, it all plays out. I gotta learn to keep in better contact on the phone aspect, but besides that part, stay focused. See, that's my thing. I be focused where it's like I personally know that I'm always connected. Where I really don't feel the need to get on the phone and call people, even though I would like for somebody to call me. You know, I guess people feel the same way, but they not like me. They're not connected. So I think it's a difference personally. Um, I feel like I'm doing a finger pointing aspect, but let's stay focused. I say finger pointing aspect because they don't believe in what I do. So there's no way that they feel like they're connected to me, even though they get signs of it. Like you might think of me just like I might think of that person, but I don't call them and they may not call me, but we already connecting. It's like literally somebody calling you on the phone. You hear the phone, you might even look at the phone, but you don't answer it. It's the same aspect how the minds operate, yo. Like, there's already a connection happening. Are you gonna let it be what it is, And a lot of people don't, and I'm very aware of it. I've always been that way since I was young. That's the intriguing part. Um, I guess I'm just learning to find ways to express it. Learning that it's okay to express it. I was always told you don't know nothing, even though you know everything. That's why I call you Lois Lane. But that's kind of funny with the way Spirit is telling me this information, and it's in a rainbow form of a way, and it's different lines or lanes. I get Lois Lane. Okay, I'm gonna know everything that's going on. Which that probably would be. I got a few lanes, but I got all of them honestly. I really do. My favorite one though is love aspect. Honestly, yellow, the strength, communication through. I got all of them. Creativity. I use my cards, images, numbers, just all types of ways. But it's not what I got on here to talk about. But it's important. Um, the aspect my brother had told me when I talked to him, he said, "You just disappear. You just vanish. You be MIA." I guess that's missing in action. It's like, how was I missing, yo? I'm always in the same destinations. Trust me and believe that. I'm never hard to freaking find, yo. So it was amazing to me that everybody I talked to kept saying, "You was MIA." It made me really feel like, oh, you don't know me, yo. Because I've been in the same place around the same people. I go to same places. I ain't been missing, yo. Like, and that's the same energy that I feel when it comes to my cousin, honestly, with her being on the eternal side. They don't realize nobody ever disappears. Nothing ever disappears, yo. But certain energy, they always come around. They don't be gone for long periods of time physically. This energy would never have been gone physically this long unless something is wrong. And something is wrong. It's on the eternal side. Flesh stopped. Energy still flowing, still here. But it's a trend that my family seem to have, and I seem to get a big awareness level even within myself. How I explain myself, because since I got reunited back with my family recently during my devastating time, which I've learned bring everybody together. It's like I already experienced it before, but myself personally, how I always am alone. For the most part, I normally say I ain't got family because I ain't around them, so it's like it's weird to claim something I don't have. Which part of me, because I do have the eternal side, I have a whole connection. It is not just the people I grew up with; it's people of energy that I just naturally mirror and reflect. It's intriguing, yo. Um, I get so deep. It's like the soil. It's like you have a tree and you have the roots, but it's underground. It still just spreads out, which connects to other aspects also. And plus, physically, for understanding, people mingle and mix. We have mixed cultures and things. It's the same aspect, but my brother passed away. Was it not last year, the year before last. And my family kept bringing it up. Like each thing, make sure you call me when you get to your destination. We just had somebody go missing and we realized they were dead. You know, and it's like I got triggered by it. Cause like, why did it take just that? You know, that's so freaking weird. And I started honestly getting irritated by it. Like, dude, quit bringing that up, yo. Like, because personally, I know still here, but it's like you don't even believe they still here, but you all sad that you didn't appreciate the time they were here, yo. You know, definitely. Oh my God, that part did irritate me. When I realized my dad slash cousin dad, you know, my brother came seeking help from him, and you know, he didn't help him, but he was quick to, you know, mention the family being separated. But it's like when he was here, you couldn't help, yo. But now he's on the other side, you wanna keep mentioning the importance of sticking together. Like it was weird to me, but hey, it takes everybody different lessons to learn certain lessons. And this is the same energy once again with my cousin. Where they're devastated that's missing, but they don't realize you don't have that behavior of disappearing like that. Something is wrong, yo. But something is right at the same time because still is here. And it triggered me because they gave me that type of energy when it's like I'm always in the same place, yo. I have not went MIA, okay? I'm still with the same people that y'all have met. I still have the same child that I be around. I still like to go to the same places for the most part, but it's like I ain't went MIA. So it bothers me that people, how can I explain now? That are physically here, but feel like they are getting missed. And the people that's on the eternal side, how can I explain? I gotta think how to explain that. Got an emotion I gotta actually think about because it been getting me lately. And I'm actually surprised by the energy of her greeting me the way she has, which is my cousin Tarisha I'm talking about. It seems like I've been working this energy up on this spirit and preparing me for this, which it's funny. I have those tendencies which I've come accustomed to. I always know things in advance. I talked to you guys about it before. I knew when my brother, I knew something was wrong with my brother years before something was happened. Like I felt he was dead, and I was able to tell you where he was at. Like he was telling me where he was at. But it's intriguing because in that aspect, because it's funny. This is actually connecting. I'm thinking about it honestly. This is so connect. My brother stopped talking to me for a while. Well, we stopped talking to each other for a while. My brother Andre is like my favorite brother. Honestly, we were gonna stay together, but I actually wound up starting dating somebody, and I started living with my Donald. I started staying with Donald, which is my ex, but I don't say Donald, which that's where I've been at still. You know, I ain't been missing. Same person. Me and my brother stopped talking for a while. And during that time, I felt like he was missing for too long. Like certain people during certain times, they pop up. He's one of those ones. Like he just pop up in my house, yo. Which I like that energy. Just pop up. What you calling me for? Come. You know, like it's weird. People just don't do that. But I started getting the energy that he was dead. Like I really thought my brother was dead, yo. But he was telling me where he was at. Like if I knew how to, you know, use my cards then, or to draw up images or numbers during that time, I could have told you exactly where he was at because he was giving me images of where he was at, and it's intriguing because I don't believe this is where he was found at. I feel like it's connected to something else maybe. It was a green house. It was green and it had like a fence around it. It looked like a normal little house, you know. I don't know how to explain it. But he was saying that he was there. But then he, like, I don't know, a couple weeks later, he wound up actually popping up. And it just so, it hurt me and it scared me because it was like, oh my God, what was that? I thought you were freaking dead, yo. Like, but it actually turned out when he freaking did die, he was unable to be found for a while. Nobody identified him. And I feel like that was the energy that Spirit was bringing to me, as into Spirit would guide me and tell me where it's at. Which I think that is so cool, because that's really how I operate. It's just, that was my first level of awareness to it, was dealing with my brother. And now I have it close to me again, but it's operating in my cousin form. And she's really on the other side. This ain't an energy like what I thought with my brother, how he just popped up eventually. This one ain't gonna pop up. Not in the form that they expect, just the way I didn't expect it. But I got triggered by it because she is an energy. Which is funny, because she actually communicated with me back through music, and it's funny. And it was saying no need to apologize. But she was reaching out to me, until I said with my cousin Ron slash dad. I don't know if I call him dad or still cousin. It's so weird. Cousin dad. Cousin dad. How I got upset with him because he didn't appreciate the moment while they were there, but dwell when they're gone. Want to keep bringing up reminders. It's like he wouldn't have probably been in the situation that he was in if you helped him. You were able to help him. My cousin dad got money. He got money, yo. He blows money like it's nothing. He remind me of my ex. He just loves spending freaking money just because. Got it like that. Which, once again, that's another trait of mine that I see where it comes freaking from. It's just, I'm not gonna break all that down right now when it comes to that aspect, because I keep going. I don't want to get distracted what I'm talking about, or do I need to? I guess I should, just because. Not sure if we'll admit to it. I feel like won't admit to it just because he's married to somebody. People gonna look at him like, oh my God, you have sex with your family members, yo. Some people can't handle that heat, even though it's true, It's funny, even when I met him personally, like, seen him around, honestly, but I never had a conversation with him. He was amazed by my behavior. He thought I was very pleasant and kind, like almost too kind. Like he thought I'd be. I hate to use this example, but more like my sister. It's a word I want to use, but I feel just like, geez. Sluttish. I feel like he thought I would have been that. And I'm just like, no, it's not me, dude. I get down with filthy stuff, but I don't roll. That's levels to it, okay? It's not like I'm just like, oh my God, But I could tell he was amazed at the way that I conduct myself, honestly. I stay to myself, like reading books, I like learning. Like, you're just like, oh my God, the world? You even want a spiritual person? I was about to say a God-fearing man, but I really don't want a God-fearing man. I really, really don't. I explained this before. Anybody that fears God, they're not going to be able to receive. You afraid of what's helping you. That ain't going to cut it for me. They appreciate love, respect, but don't fear. That's weird to me. I don't want one of those. They would deny God, for sure. Even though you would think it's the opposite. They fear him, they wouldn't. But from my experience, think God's not real. It's like, I think not. I'll take a spiritual one for sure. Because that's what I am. Even though I do operate like a goddess. It's one of the same aspects to me. But with my cousin Tarisha, she was reaching out to me a good amount of times over Facebook. But I was afraid to reach out to her because growing up I always heard they were junkies, they were crackheads. Honestly, my family always expressed them as being crackheads. Whether they did crack or I don't know, but they did some type of drugs, I don't know. So I was like, I don't want to be around crackheads, the fooderies. Whether that was wrong or not, I don't know. That's just the way I felt during that time, honestly. And it's like I never was around them growing up, honestly. My family, we weren't close growing up. Like that's why I said I seen them around, but we really, other than my grandma house, everybody went to my grandma house, which I learned grandma house was danger zone. But people could look at it as a blessing. But a lot of trauma happened there that I learned definitely when it comes to family, generational, seem like curse aspect of sexual activity there. You know, amongst all those adults, somehow either the adults were messing with the kids or, just a lot of intriguing, open door policy at grandma house, yo. But grandma seemed not to know. Because my experience, when I brought it to her attention, she thought two girls could not be interested in each other. Like, I just made that foolery up. Like, your cousin want you to eat her vagina? Impossible. Two girls don't like each other. So I had to stop going to my grandma's house for that. So I truly definitely became disconnected from family because of that aspect, because that's where everybody went. But nobody ever really came to my mom house just because they looked down on my mom for having so many kids, and not being stable the way that they expected her to. But when I look at it, we always had everything. Like, it wasn't like we were broke. We had money. It's just they didn't like that she had so many kids, and I guess their relationship was not so perfect. I talk about that a lot. But I always had a face. They always had money. Can't ever complain and say it was broke. Always had money. Both parents always worked or had some type of financial sources, which lacked the emotional part because they weren't there. They had to go get money and things. So that part did miss, but I don't know. Judgmental family, I guess. I don't know. Didn't support my mom in that aspect, and there's probably other things that I don't know about generationally in that aspect when it comes to my mom and her generation with them, as to why they weren't around. Maybe they had the same type of experience. I don't know, but that's that aspect. But yeah, that's what surprised me, that she still reached out to me and I recognized her. I said, "Oh my God, you on the eternal side, yo!" Like, I was happy, but I was amazed. Like, oh my God, you still deal with me. And she was even through the music. It was like, well, fuck with me when I'm on the other side. And it's like, I've been translating for her. But it's just like, even on my aspect, I did not deal with her in the physical aspect. I loved my cousin, I would say. I do remember certain times being around her, but we never really hung out like that. And, my family always talked bad about a certain part of the family, just the way I know they talked bad about my side of the family, just my mom having too many kids in her marriage situation or whatever. So I let, I guess, word of mouth keep me separated from my family. But she's still there, and she guides me on the eternal side, though, energetically. But it's something I have to look more into, honestly. I don't know how to explain it. I'm thinking of how to explain it. I don't want to sound spooky, but it is what it is. I know the physical body stopped, and the energy is still here. But somehow still in a form, if that makes sense. And I know spirits can touch you. A spirit touched me, like actually touched me. So I'm wondering, like, still how all that go and things of that nature. Which I'll share more when I learn, but I'm just happy about that aspect. And she forgave me, And he was like, fuck with me when I'm on Eternal side. But it came through a music form. It was music. How able still to slinky it or tennis it in a rainbow form of a way, to send it over. And for me, it's a repeating energy, though. That's the only way I can explain it. even with how I had to go look up some images to even recognize who I was feeling, who energy I was feeling, and where it was at. This part of my doggone finger, you can't even say it, it's starting to heal up better, helped me understand it was her. She had her fingernails red, and it was like the same length as this. And I thought it was so funny because you can't even see it now, but it looked like my finger was backwards. Like I had a nail on, but my hand was this way instead of this way. And it was the same aspect because she's on the eternal side. She's not this way. She's still here though. Um, and I went through her pictures and I found that and I was like, oh my god, it scared me. I was like, oh my god, that's so extraordinary. Or the couch, the coffin. I'm majority always on this dog on couch/coffin. And I believe that's honestly why I start saying, I'm in my coffin. I'm in my coffin, yo. For moments like this aspect when it comes to my family. They don't think that she's dead. They think that she just ran off, I guess, you know. They probably think she did my behavior that they think I did. You know, like, you just went MIA. I was not gone, yo. I have not disappeared, yo. I've been in the same spot. I'm still here, yo. So I've been amazed. How they always like, oh my god, you just went MIA, you just disappeared. No, I didn't. You just don't know me, yo. That's all. We can get to learn each other and you'll realize I'm quite consistent with my behavior. Seriously. I hope to like change it up a little bit eventually because I do like to get out and about, but I ain't got a vehicle, so it'll make things a little more intriguing. But yeah, I think I explained that good enough. For satisfyingly, like hunting my cousin, and how I've been feeling her energy, or how I really recognized it, and realizing how it repeated, like how life has to be repeating back. Even that's also about the music. Whoever, like, you know, sometimes people don't write their own lyrics or whatever. Who the lyric person was, who was able to freaking receive that is important. That's the real person. But I heard they only get much money as the person who, you know, sings it. But it's like they're not the ones that's actually receiving it, you know. But it's nice that, you know, people are able to resonate with the words, which just shows me repeating energy of this happened multiple times. Because, you know, music is old, you know, it's eternal, but it'd be old, you know. It's not up to date music for the most part. I feel like, what am I getting at? What else is there? I feel like I'm rambling a little bit. Because this is all the things that I'm dealing with right now, honestly, or just been happening since my frostbitten session and reuniting with my family, and just this year aspect. Realizing my cousin is guiding me, but been guiding me before I got frostbitten. That's what gets me. How all this plays out and how we all connected in it. Because one day I decided to walk to the library because I wanted to post something, and I feel like I couldn't post it nowhere. So I was like, you know, let's go to the library so I can, you know, post it and sit and chill and do whatever else I need to do. I like to be at the library. I just do. I don't know what to do. Welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely place. It is a lovely place, but and that was a long walk. Trust me. Like, I probably passed up a good amount of libraries just to go to this one specific one that I always normally go to. I travel far for certain aspects. Trust me, I travel. For sure. But on the way there, I stopped at a funeral home and took a picture there. I had my yellow jacket on. I can't remember. It was wood something. It was actually funny that I'm recording on a wooden table right now, but it was wooden something, I believe. And it seemed so important But then I went and posted whatever I wanted. I went to the library afterwards. And there was a music too. It was a guitar. I took 2 pictures during that time. It was right next to each other. It was on Main Street, no, High Street. The sky. Intriguing, but it was the cemetery, not cemetery, a funeral home. And it was a guitar, a bluegrass aspect, a music aspect. It was I put a warrior song behind it. Um, in the cemetery. I don't know if I posted that. Um, but just realizing that was the energy that I was gonna be dealing with once this happened. Like that's the intriguing part. That's why I probably feel like this has been a devastating situation. You know, getting frostbite, losing my skin, nails all gone, fingers all bent up and stuff. Like it's devastating. I love my skin, yo. Like it's not like I'm just brushing it off. Like who cares? No, I love my skin, yo. I love my skin a lot. And I would say I love my appearance too. I love me, I just love me, But my hands, yo, like get everything done, yo. So it's like I care. It might seem like you're just brushing it off, but I really do feel like this happened for a reason. It had to happen. It was a sacrifice aspect to a bigger picture. Even I sit there and say I've recognized the sign before it even happened, or before I even realized what I was walking into. Because I didn't know that my cousin was missing. I didn't know she was missing. But at the same time, Spirit was telling me there's on the eternal side. And it's funny because that same day when I actually felt her presence, it was actually this month. I think I did it this month. I went and put her in the casket and everything. I had that tendency like, well, I have a little funeral for you, huh? No problem, And that was that energy before I even realized it. It's intriguing how Spirit operates through me, and I don't always be aware of it until later on, But the day before? The day before I got frostbitten, I did a translation outside. I was doing my translations outside. I was trying to find nice little settings to be at to translate. And this one specifically, I had a yellow jacket on. It had the Happy Family. I think I titled it Happy Family. I can't remember at the moment, but I had a yellow jacket on and I had my blue gloves on. And what made me want to stop there was the wall aspect. I like the way the wall looked. But as you watch the video, you can see a tree behind the wall. And then you see me sitting on the ground. It was the aspect as to your roots coming over, like over the wall. If that makes sense. And I kept saying, it's displaying in your present aspect. Like your other side is on the other side, if that makes sense. Your other side. Your other half is on the other side. So it's so intriguing, like how many red flags there were before it even got brought to my attention as to this was the situation. Or that I would even get frostbitten, and wound up being in the hospital for a very long freaking time with those doggone gloves. Like there's so many signs that I kept getting that, I was unaware of, I was just wearing the gloves. I like to wear gloves, which is funny because the day that this happened, I didn't have any gloves on. Well, I had my hospital gloves on, the latex gloves, but I think it probably made it worse, turned them into icicles. But, you got a winter storm going on and you got latex gloves on, I don't think that's considered gloves. You got on latex gloves. That's why I said I didn't have gloves on. But I probably think I should have told them I had latex gloves on. That's probably why they're so stiff. They turned into icicles. But I didn't think about that until later on. Like my mind, so much happened, yo. Like I don't know, so much happened. I was just amazed, like frostbite. I heard of it, but to be experiencing is something totally different, yo. Like I was already ready for them to cut my fingers off and everything. Like my mind was set up, about to lose fingers. We'll be strategizing next. But I was able to keep my fingers. I think that's why I'm so excited, because I just knew I was gonna lose my fingers. That's why I'm not worried if I can't bend them or not. Like, I don't care. I still got them. I can still even function. I ain't worried about it. um, that's why I said I don't want people thinking I'm not complaining or upset by it. It's just I still got them. I was really planning on losing my doggone fingers for sure. Definitely with the way they looked, I knew those little slappers was gonna get cut off. Chop chop. But that wasn't part of the plan. Which thank you Jesus for that. But yeah, just recognizing energy repeating, honestly. You're able to fix blind spots when you recognize repeating energy. It's important to recognize that aspect. And that's what I'm just being within the last something weeks realizing that it was based off my cousin aspect. That aspect too. There's some minutes that have been going on. How long is this video? 30? That's not bad. I think I done said a whole lot within 30 minutes, yo. Intriguing. Very informative, huh? Very informative. A judgmental aspect that I do seem like I have, but I'm aware of it in like it's a semi different, but it come off in an obsession form of a way. It's a song I've been listening to, and it's called Obsession. It's by this guy. I shared his music and all that stuff already. Manny Millie, I think that's his name. But it's a song called Obsession. And it takes me at first when I first seen it or heard it, I didn't think of this energy connected to it, honestly. I just thought of myself, honestly. Because I feel like I'm obsessed with the eternal side. I love the eternal side. I feel like the eternal side is myself. But in this aspect, it is the eternal side, but it came off in the bigger awareness level when it came to my aunt and my judgmental behavior as into they do drugs. It do come off as an obsession. And how people just have different levels of it and why they do certain things that they do. It's levels too with people are obsessed too, but they just think it's different because it's not so extreme or it may not seem harmful to them. I don't know how to word that. You gotta think for a second. I think I probably worded it good, but it's that energy. But it do come off in a judgmental aspect. Like everybody has an obsession when I think about that. That's why it's a judgmental. It's levels to it for awareness levels and realizing why they do it. And in this aspect, a drug aspect, it comes off as a coping. Most people who do it, I feel like that they're coping. It's like a band-aid or a hug. It's coping aspect to help them get through. That's why I say a band-aid aspect. But some people do get addicted to it. That it becomes an obsession aspect where it's all they want, even when they feel like they're not coping. Not pardon my words, not coping, but they're not going through anything worse. Like for me, I used to smoke cigarettes. Intriguing behavior of mine that I just started picking up within my 20s. I'm 32 now, about to be 33 in April. But in my 20s, like my late 20s, mid 20s, like I don't know, maybe like 25-ish area, I started smoking cigarettes randomly. But I was going through a lot mentally within my head. Like even situations that I'm talking about now, it was like one of those, but I guess not so extreme, but kind of the same aspect. But I didn't know how to cope with it. And I always heard people say, when you stress and smoke cigarettes, monkey see, monkey do, I guess, And I felt like no other aspect was working for me. So I'm gonna go buy me a pack of cigarettes, and blow smoke, And I did that for a while. I used my cigarette choice, Camels, until I got introduced to Marlboros. They both smooth cigarettes. I like the Camels. I know he didn't say ill. It's fancy. I used to hear people in the store when I was in line, and they'd be like, "Let me get a pack of Camels." So when I went in the store, let me get a pack of Camels. That's why I said monkey see, monkey do, huh? Hey, it was a coping aspect that I heard people do, okay? Um, did it help? No, it did not help, but it took me a long time to realize that, the prices started going up on them, and I still was buying them, like cigarettes, like $9 goddamn dollars. It's like, yo, this is crazy, and I'm still stressed that I smoked the whole pack so soon, like, not just one, smoke it and then not go out and I'm lighting another one. Like it don't work. I guess it's like an instant or something. I think it's that aspect with me saying that it got to be a mental situation. I think something with this motion for sure. It's something about that in a smoke signal. Some people don't realize they really get smoke signals like lighting fires or incense. It's a smoke signal that invites energy. Um, I believe that's just people level of awareness without it being a level of awareness, realizing you ain't gotta smoke that cigarette. Go light an incense or a candle. Um, make a bonfire. I don't know, something to that aspect where you get some smoke flowing through. Oh, I got a steamer actually. It's a little different, but it looked like smoke. Um, it's a steamer supposed to unwrinkle your clothes, but I like steaming my face just because I want to stay all beautiful, which I haven't done it in a while. But yeah. With me saying that, I just felt a little sad really quick. Like, you ain't been using your beauty routine? Footer these. Sad. I still do other things. It's just I haven't been using that aspect. But it just makes me think when it comes to a smoke signal aspect, you can cut it on and make like this mist of smoke. That's what it looked like anyway. It'll help better than blowing cigarettes. Since I did mention cigarettes, it's like, oh, you're just advocating for it, huh? I'm just giving my experience, but ways I found, to cope with it in other ways. When it comes to a mental aspect, it's the mind. Your mind is going. You're trying to receive, but you're receiving in the best way you know form, I guess. But yeah, I moved over to Camels because somebody told me about it. Actually, they didn't tell me about it. One day I was at work and I didn't have no cigarettes and I wanted to smoke. And the person that gave me one had a Marlboro. And I enjoyed it. I liked the smoothness of it, so I started smoking those. But then I started smoking them because I realized I ain't feeling better. I'm not feeling, this don't make sense. I ain't feeling better. It was weird, yo. I just stopped smoking them, and I didn't like the smell of it. That's what really got me. I didn't like the smell of smelling like cigarettes. I don't like the smell of it at all. I'm gonna be honest about it. I'm always honest, but I don't know why I said it that way. I'm gonna be honest about it. I'm just gonna share with you guys. I probably would still smoke in that aspect, which I kind of still do, but it's not tobacco. If it didn't have a smell, I don't like the smell of it. I like medicine that's beneficial, but I don't like smelling like tobacco. I don't like the way it smells. It's a smell that's hard to get rid of. And smells are really important to me, which is kind of funny because I lost my nose since before, and it was intriguing because I didn't even realize I was supposed to be smelling nothing. So it's like weird for a person like me who loves smelling things but then lose their nose sense and don't even realize it and don't even be fazed by it. It's like, how do you get upset with something when you don't know if you're supposed to be smelling it or not? So I enjoyed it. It happened to me twice. The first time lasted way longer. The second time it was like it came back the same day, like within a couple of minutes. But that's the eternal side. I've realized it's the eternal side. They knock my senses out when they're close. So it's intriguing. I learned about that before that even happened. When I was at the shelter, Spirit was communicating with me. I used to go to the not library area, computer area. It's a library. They had like little books on the side, but it was a computer room. I used to sit in there and look up things and write like information down. And I came through. I was into the invisible world. They knocked those senses out. Yeah. Shit, they keep scaring me. that keeps scaring me. I ain't expecting to hear no noise, yo. It's intriguing. Um, yeah, I like my ringtone though. That's my ringtone. It's a reminder. I like my ringtones to be reminders um, of present moments. Um, but yeah, they knock the senses out. Taste, touch, sight, all that. They knock it out just because you don't need that. That's funny. I actually just recently did an expression like that where I had like a block on my face. You couldn't see my face. Or I was laying on the ground doing a rolling boat aspect and you couldn't see my face. It was like a chicken with his head cut off. Um, Eternal Sky still guides you. Even in a blind aspect, you still get guided. That's why I be amazed by blind people. I be infatuated with blind people. I ain't seen too many in real life, but I've seen people who had canes when I'm out and about, and I just be intrigued. Like, you just strolling down the street, just tapping and strolling. That's intriguing. You on the bus, yo, by yourself. How you about to navigate, yo? Like, that's intriguing. You going to the grocery store? How? How you know where stuff is at in this store? Like, that stuff is amazing. Like, the person, see, that, now I feel like I'm trying to contradict faith. Like, now, because I feel like how my other questionable observers of belief feel. It's like, are you really freaking blind? How did you get on this bus by yourself? How did you know where this bus stop was? How did you go in the store and get to shopping around, yo? Are you really blind? Like, it's like, yeah, they just got faith. Faith guide them. You know, that's a lot of trust, yo. I tended to do this before, honestly. I didn't do it for so long because, trust is important. I love the eternal side, but to close my eyes and like just walk down the street without like going or walk down the street but not in the street, I'll be on the sidewalk, or I might just be in the road, depends on where I'm at. Because some places really don't have sidewalks. But just walk with your eyes blind without bumping into something or actually falling into the street. You actually get hit by a car, things like that. And I was so nervous because I kept hearing so much and I just got nervous. I had to open my eyes, but it's an intriguing feeling, honestly, that people deal with all the time. And there's nothing they can do about it. They have to trust. Boy, my brain. I'm gonna leave it there because my brain's starting to hurt.